Hi everyone, Trishna here. So in this video, we're going to talk about what you should be setting intentions for. Now, I already have a video on how to set intentions in full detail. If you haven't already seen that, I highly recommend that you watch it. But I already have a video that discusses in full detail how to set intentions once you know what that intention should be. But how do you know what that intention should be? So there are two schools of thought on setting intentions that I'm aware of. So the first one is, if you've seen the movie The Secret, or if you've read the book, what they talk about in that video, in that movie, is they say, only focus on your end goal, the end desire, the end version of whatever it is that you want. Don't focus on what you don't want. Don't focus on the steps in between. Only focus on that end reality, that end goal, that end vision that you want to manifest in your life. Now, the other school of thought says, you know what? Have a vision for your life. Know what that end goal is. But, in order to achieve that end goal, you have to become that end goal. You have to evolve, you have to grow, you have to change, you have to shift to become whatever it is that you want to manifest. Because in the law of attraction, like attracts like. So if you have this version of yourself, let's say, that you want to be, you have to grow to become that version in order to attract everything that that version of you would attract. So in their school of thought or their methodology, they would say, look at your vision, understand whatever it is that you need to grow or change about yourself, or how you need to evolve in order to achieve that vision. And then instead of setting intentions for that big picture, like The Secret and the main school of thought, set intentions for each one of those steps that you need to work on to be able to become that match to the reality that you're trying to attract. So those are the two schools of thought. And you can try either one. I think that some of this, it has to do with personal preference. Definitely try setting that final intention goal. Definitely try doing the step-by-step method and see which one really works best for you, because I've definitely seen people being successful using both methods. Some people set that final goal and they're extremely successful. Some people work on it step by step and they're also extremely successful. So really it is a personal preference. I would say experiment with it. I personally use kind of a combination of the two, and that's the process that I teach. And that's what I think really adds that power to intention setting and really brings things in like very quickly. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. So let me actually give you an example of what that step-by-step method is and how you might set intentions, set your manifestations using both schools of thought. So let's take the example of, let's say you currently have a 9-to-5 job that you work 40 hours at, 9 to 5 every day, and you really want to be an entrepreneur. You want to have the independence. You want to be your own boss. You want to create something of your own and put it out into the world. So, that's what you really want. But at the same time, you have some blocks. So in the process that I've already talked about in videos 1 through 7, if you haven't seen those videos, again, I highly recommend it. Watch videos 1 through 7 in order, because each one of those builds upon each other. The rest of the videos are in order as well, but you can pick and choose, if you want to skip around. But the first 7 videos, definitely watch them in order. So in those videos, I talk about how, you're either doing intention setting work or you're doing healing work where you're working on blocks. So, you want to have this business, you want to be an entrepreneur, but you really like the security of your 9-to-5 job. You like that you have benefits, you like that you have a steady paycheck, and you're scared to take the leap. So that will be a block. You're scared of losing the security that you currently have. Another block could be that you really like that it's 9 to 5. It's only 40 hours a week. Once you're done with your day, you go home. You don't really bring a lot of your work home with you. And if you were to be an entrepreneur, you'd have to work 80 hours a week, 100 hours a week, basically 24/7, because that's what it takes to be an entrepreneur, especially when you're first starting out and having to kick things into gear. So you want to have this business, but you have these blocks in your way of things that you're scared about, and also things that you just don't really feel like doing in order to achieve your goal. You want your goal, but you don't really want to do those things. So that's kind of where you're at. So now if you were doing the manifestation, law of attraction, the secret version of things, you would start scripting, you start visualizing, you start creating vision boards around the final end goal. You would say something in your journal like, wow, I'm so excited to have this business of my own, as something that I created, doing something that I love. I get to work all the hours that I want. If I don't want to work one day, I don't have to work that day. If I want to work more an extra day, I can work that day. And I'm so excited I get to work with whoever I want to work with. And this is just an amazing business. So that's you focusing on the end goal of having this business, only having to work, whenever you want to work, and still receiving abundance and working with people that you love and creating something that calls to you, that's special to you, that's fun. So that's how you would do the law of attraction, the secret method. All this is law of attraction. That's how you would do the secret main school of thought method, just focusing on that end vision. Now, if you were to use the growth method, I guess that's what I'm going to call it, the growth method or the step-by-step method of manifestation, you might say, okay, so I want to have this business, but I also know that I have these issues. I like the security, I'm not ready to take a risk, and I don't want to work more than 40 hours a week. If anything, I want to work less than 40 hours a week, so I'm really not ready. So you would see, you would look at the vision of, I want to be an entrepreneur. And in order to be that entrepreneur, I need to be ready to work those hours. I need to be ready to take the risk. So you're already evaluating, you're creating a list of all the things that you need to, all the ways that you need to evolve to become like equals like attracts like, to become the kind of person that would have whatever it is that you want to attract in your life, that would have this business. So then what you would do is you're like, all right, so I need to be comfortable with security. I need to be ready to work these long hours. I'm not currently ready. So I'm going to set my intention, not for the big goal. I'm going to set it to bring me experiences that give me more security in my life outside of this 9-to-5 job so that I can go and start this business because I have security in some other form. Or give me experiences to get me acclimated, get me excited about working 100 hours a week, 24/7. So you would set intentions for that using the growth method or the step-by-step method. Instead of setting intentions for that big goal, you set it for each thing that you need to work on so that you're constantly evolving to become the version that you need to be in order to attract the life that you want. So those are the two schools of thought. And like I was saying before, you can really pick either one. I've seen people being extremely successful in both areas. I personally like to combine the two, but actually let me just talk a little bit more about the growth method. So there are things that I like about it and things that I don't like about it as much. So with the growth method, I really like that you're working on each individual step. And the reason why I like that is because when we do law of attraction work, there is always this gap between the reality that we're living and the reality that we want to live. And when we have this gap, we have those fears, those hang-ups, self-doubt, all that stuff in the way. And it can be really, really hard sometimes to be standing where you are right now and then think about this huge future that you want for yourself and just feel like it can't happen for you. It's just, the belief can be a little bit of a stretch. Even if you've been practiced in law of attraction, sometimes there's always going to be that stretch. Law of attraction and everything about the universe is all about us growing. So, there's always going to be a stretch of some magnitude. And so, when you're just focusing on the end vision, it can be really, really hard to constantly believe that that's something that we can have. With the growth method, when you're working on things step by step, you're focusing on the vision in the sense that everything is moving you towards that, but you're only focusing on that next step. You're only calling in that next step. And so the belief is easier. Like, it would be so much easier for you to believe that you can have an experience that teaches you that working 100 hours a week could be fun. Maybe suddenly you get interested in a hobby and time flies. You spend your entire weekend just doing this hobby and it makes you realize I can totally put in the hours. Like, I have it in me, I have the energy. If I really enjoyed my business, I could do this full time, all the time, 24/7. So, it's a lot easier to believe that you can call in each step than it is to believe that you can have that big vision. So that's one of the things that I really like about the step-by-step method is it bridges that belief gap much more easily for you. And your manifestations, you notice them quickly, because every time you're getting an experience that teaches you something and that's easy, because you believe it comes in faster and, it's what you need to grow and the universe knows. So it's smoother. There's definitely a lot of merit to going about manifestation that way. Now, the thing that I don't like about it is, The universe needs a lot of leeway because it sees things from that higher perspective. It knows how everything is working, where everything's going to move. It orchestrates all of these scenarios for you to be able to receive whatever it is that you want. So when you are kind of saying, well, I think I need to work on these things, let me call in those individual things. Yes, the universe is going to bring it to you, but I feel like if you left it a little bit more open, the universe would have much more dynamic experiences for you, to where, you may be calling in one experience or two experiences, but the universe may have a lot more to teach you, and it can teach you in one experience that gives you what you were calling out and so much more. But if you just keep focusing on steps, I feel like you're almost limiting your focus and your intention and your vision, even though it is all going to a bigger vision. So that's why, like, that would be my hang up with the growth method, is I feel like it kind of limits. Now, every person is different. That's why I'm saying it is personal preference. Try each one, see what works best for you. People are successful doing both methods. Now, like I was saying before, I like to combine the two. So the process that I've outlined in videos 1 through 7 essentially already does that for you, because all of these little hang-ups that you have, all these fears, all these little doubts, all these little next steps, those are things that are going to come up when you're doing your healing work. When you think about your business, if you're not ready for it, you're going to start, when you sit down and write down your feelings, you're going to be like, you know what, like, I want to have my own business, but honestly, I'm scared because then I would lose my security and I don't know how I would start, and I'm not ready to make that risk yet, take that risk yet. That's going to come out automatically in your healing work. And, if you're not ready to put in the hours, you're very resistant to that. When you're writing your feelings, it's like, yeah, I really want to have my own business, but I know that it takes all these hours and I'm not ready to do that. I like my lifestyle right now. That's all going to come out in your healing. So you're already going to be addressing each one of those and healing on those and evolving through the healing work. And then whenever you are feeling really good, really excited, and you start doing your scripting and journaling and visualization and vision board work, that's you setting your intention for that big goal. So you're already doing both with my process that I've outlined in videos 1 through 7, which is why my process is so powerful, because it takes care of everything that you need in order to manifest reality that you want. So if I were to take this a step further, and I do, so this is taking the process is all you need. But if you want to up-level it just a little bit to help with the belief, to help it detaching from the outcome, to help you really believe in the law of attraction and see just how quickly and how beautifully the universe is responding to you all the time, then I would add this third component. So do the healing work when you're not feeling good. That does a step-by-step method for you. Do the scripting work that handles the big picture. Then add on this one next component, which is create a growth list. So as you're doing your healing work, there's certain areas that you're going to realize, like, yeah, I need to grow in these areas. So, maybe it's, I need to be able to take risks because that's important for being an entrepreneur. I need to be ready to put in the hours because that's important for launching a business. So create a list of areas that you would like to grow in. And there'll be more than that. And, sometimes, okay, so you create this list in 2 ways. So the first way is, like in the growth method, think about, okay, I want this vision. What all do I need to do? How do I need to be? Who do I need to be? How do I need to grow? How do I need to evolve to be somebody who can handle this future, this reality that I want? And that's how you start off your growth list. Then as you're doing your healing, you'll start picking up on some feelings that you have that are new ways that you need to grow. You can add that to your list as well. And then just go put that list off. You just keep adding to it as you need to, but you don't really need to look at it that often. It's just kind of a side thing that you do. And basically what happens is you use this list in 2 ways. So let's say you're kind of in the apathetic zone, and so you don't really know what your block is. You can go back to that list and be like, let's work on one of these blocks. I have a whole list. Let's work on one of those. Let's grow myself. Let's evolve myself. Let's feel better. Let's call in my manifestation. So you go to your list and you can work on whatever one of those that you're in the mood for. So that's one way that you can use this growth list to take you to that next level. The other way is the universe is already going to be creating scenarios for you to be able to grow, to become like attracts like. So in the step-by-step method, you're the one saying, I need to grow in these ways, universe, give me what I want. But if you do this method, if you do the healing work, if you do the intention setting work, if you do the two together, the universe is automatically going to create experiences, shift you emotionally, energetically, because you're doing the healing work, and that automatically shifts you. It's going to shift you to, or change your outlook to be able to be the version that you need to be. It's going to make you excited to want to work 100 hours a week. It's going to give you experiences to help you do that, or it's going to release your fears of needing security in a 9-to-5 form. Maybe you'll get it in another form. So the universe is already going to be creating those steps for you. And that's because the universe doesn't just want to hand you what you want before you're ready. Because if it did that, you would get it and then you would lose it. It wants to hand you what you want, and you're so ready for it that you keep it and you live it, and it becomes your true reality, not just this momentary win that you then lose. So it's already going to be leading you on this path of growth to get you ready to become like attracts like. And the thing I like about having this growth list, just kind of at the back, you're just kind of there. I have mine on my phone. Just as I think about blocks or things that I want to grow, ways that I want to grow, I just add it to this list. And, whenever I want to do my healing work, if I don't know what to do, or if I'm in the mood to heal and I'm feeling pretty good and I don't really feel like scripting, I just pull out my list and I work on one of those. But the other thing is because the universe is already leading you down this path of growth, as you're already going to be shifting, it's already going to be giving you these experiences to help you, and it can be so easy to overlook that and feel like your manifestation is taking forever unless you have a list. Because sometimes you're going to be changing and growing and not even realizing it because you're just very smoothly shifting realities. And then all of a sudden you're going to be like, wait a minute, this was on my growth list. This is the way that I wanted to change. This is the way that I wanted to evolve so that I could have everything that I want to have. And if you didn't have this list, you probably wouldn't even notice that the universe is constantly supporting you, growing you, evolving you to be who you want to be, to achieve what you want to achieve. So these are little manifestations. These are little signs that are continuously happening that you're probably going to overlook unless you have this growth list to refer back to sometimes. And you may suddenly start realizing that you're changing and you're growing, and then you may go back to your list and decide to look at your list and be like, wow, I've achieved this, I've achieved this, I've achieved this. I feel a lot more secure, or I suddenly got a lump sum of money, or I moved in with a friend and they're paying for the majority of rent, so I don't really need my job as much, so I have more security. Or, I found this new hobby that I really love, and hours go by and I work an entire weekend and don't even realize that it happened. And, I'm so excited because, this is work that feels like play, and, I'm ready, I feel like I'm ready to put in 100 hours a week, work 24/7. If my business is something that I really enjoy, the time's just going to flow by. It's going to be awesome. So, that's why I really like this growth list. I really feel like it next levels you up on the manifestation law of attraction journey, because it helps you bridge that gap without having to work on each thing little piecemeal and forcing the universe to work on certain things. It shows you constantly that the universe is responding to you. It shows you that all the ways that you need to evolve, they're happening. The universe is giving you those experiences to prepare for you. It shows you, it's little manifestations, and so that belief gap still gets bridged easily, because you're noticing just how much the universe is supporting you and shifting everything to help you on your path. So that's why I really like my method of combining the two and then adding this growth list, because it really helps you put things into perspective, and it makes you realize that without this growth list, you feel like your manifestation is taking forever, and it still feels like this big thing. But when you see every little step and how it's playing out, and how every one of those steps is exactly what you need to achieve your dream, you realize the time factor, it becomes a lot easier to detach from the time factor and to detach from the time factor and to believe that the universe is working for you, because you see these little manifestations and you get really caught up in the journey. And the law of attraction and all of universal work is all about the journey. And once you accept that, it becomes so much more fun. It becomes so much easier. So this really helps you enjoy that journey. It helps you realize like you're getting all these little manifestations every time and they're all related to your vision, and it's just really fun. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I earned your like and your subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.